Hello. We continue our journey through the Russian history within the framework of a 10-unit class, an introductory class. We talked in the two previous lectures about the baptism of Rus, the spread of Christianity. In the second lecture, we talked about the church in the Western Russia. And now we'll be talking about the church in the Muscovite Rus, right? So after the Mongol invasion, Russians became subjects of the great Lord and Khan, and Mongols, they were not interested in destroying Russians, but they were interested in extracting ransom, extracting taxes. So at the beginning of the 13th century, a local prince of Moscow promised to deliver accurately on all taxes that Mongols imposed, and thus Ivan the First became known as Ivan the Moneybag. He also was able to enrich Moscow and push Moscow forward as a competitor for the city of Vladimir that inherited Kievan authority in north of Russia, like central part of Russia, and also against Tver. So in other old principalities that competed for great princes authority in front of the Mongols. So this new status required also the status of metropolitanate, and Ivan the First succeeded in attracting Metropolitan Peter at the beginning of the 14th century, who moved his see from Vladimir to Moscow. So he died there and became the first holy hierarch of the Moscow saints, buried at the Dormitian Cathedral, the first stone church, which also signified wealth of this new principality. Gradually, by the end of the 14th century, Muscovite Russia became a leader in resisting Mongols' domination, and Prince Dmitry Donskoy, for the first time, significantly defeated the Mongols at the Battle of the Field of Kulikovo in 380. Thus, he became a leader of unification, but also this unification would include control of the church, because he needed land possessions in order to reward his warriors, his noblemen, and church was not taxed by the Mongols. So to the end of the 15th century, the church controlled 1/3 of the best lands. But with attempts to take away lands from the church, also came intention to control the church, at least intuitionally, from the state. So thus we see new dynamics that in the 15th century, when Constantinople was taken over by the Ottomans in 1453, we also see that Russia becomes, Muscovite Russia, the single independent Orthodox state. And also in 1448, Russian Metropolitan Jonah of Ryazan was installed by Russian hierarchs without blessing from their mother church. Remember that the Church of Russia was a metropolitanate of the Ecumenical Patriarchate. Thus, Russian Autocephaly appeared, that was tacitly not recognized by the ecumenical patriarchate until the foundation of patriarchate in Russia in 1589. So in this time also the question of education was pressing, because there was not single Church Slavonic Bible. And in Novgorod there started a movement that we don't know much about, but this movement became known as Judaizers. There are various explanations. One of those that they were they apostatized from Orthodox Christianity, and that's why they were called Judaizers. They probably also had a mixture of various views that were popular in Europe. They were not Orthodox Jews in their confession of the faith, but their appearance also became, as it always happens in the church, a reason to overhaul the whole education question, and thus the first Bible in Church Slavonic appeared in Novgorod at the end of the 15th century. At the same time, question of church land ownership became pressing, and some of the church people, like Saint Nilus of Sora, would say that church land ownership is really bad for the church, because monks, especially for monasteries, because monks were occupied with worldly business, looking after peasants and so on, and Saint Nilus was confronted by Saint Joseph of Volochysk, who argued the church needed wealth to remain strong, and those parties later on received names as possessors, as it would be consequently with Saint Joseph, and non-possessors, Saint Nilus. And of course, non-possessors were convenient to the church, the state authority, to the non-ecclesiastical authority, because they help the state to obtain the church land. Thank you.